What's up, you guys? Godzilla Fan Freaks coming at you today with another figure review. And today's figure review is another Biofighter Max Factory figure, and it is the Hyperzoonoid Team 5 leader ZX-Tole. Just get straight on into ZX-Tole's box. Very typical Biofighter collection box. Very nice open window here in the front. Top is very nice. Back side shows some very nice poses of the figure and a lot of the articulation points, as well as how you movement some of the areas, and as well as attaching some of the extra parts on the bottom and such. So overall, very nice box for ZX-Tole here. Now to get onto the ZX-Tole figure himself, here he is in all his glory. Just get straight on into ZX-Tole with paint job. ZX-Tole is a very nice, he's a whole bunch of different browns pretty much. I mean, he's basically a beetle, so I mean browns and blacks are pretty much the only color base you can really go with for his like shell and armor places. But a very nice, very dark, blackish brown for his big armor pieces that you see on most of his body. And then as well as a very nice creamish caramel brown for these lighter patches, and then a very, dirt mud brown for like in his areas kind of underneath all his armor patches for like the joints and whatnot. His eyes are actually a translucent red, very nicely done. And then his two, I don't really know what I would call them. On a lot of the characters in the Guyver series, they are called gravity orbs, so that's what I'm going to call them. But these gravity orbs right here, very nicely done, translucent green. And then, of course, once we get into all the articulation points, all of his biolasers are a very nice, translucent ruby red. That's about it for paint job. As far as articulation, or not articulation, but detailing goes, everything is here that you see as far as ZX-Tole in the manga and the anime. He's just a very nice, very smooth beetle-like armor texture all the way around. And then, of course, you get into a little more of his texturing on the mud brown areas and whatnot. All his spikes and claws protruding off of his legs and his arms, very nicely done. All his horns on his head, very nicely sculpted and curvatured, just very beautifully well done. His face is very nicely done and detailed with the little antennae sticking out and everything like that. His feet, his hands, all the fingers, very nicely detailed and sculpted. Just overall, ZX-Tole looks amazing. You lift up his kind of wing armor patches here. You got his folded up wings here, which are a very nice translucent kind of honey color. But overall, ZX-Tole, very nice detail and paint job all the way around with this figure. Now, as far as articulation goes, we'll start from the head down. Articulation, he has this point which is very well hidden to reveal the first biolaser that we will go over. He has this horn piece that you can set up and, make it look. It's very the way the articulation movement is on it is just like from the anime. I mean, it moves perfectly with that motion to reveal the very nice ruby red biolaser there on his head. So this horn up here moves to reveal that biolaser. Of course, his head can move up, down, and left and right. Moving on to his arms, he does have very nice joints at the shoulders. Now, you can't get his arms fully extended out too far because of this armor piece right here, but they will move nicely in and out like so, and they will move forward and backward like so. The elbow joints are as well hindered just because of the bulkiness of his arms, but still you can get a little movement out of them. And then his arms at the wrist can somewhat pivot and swivel and rotate. Again, just the bulkiness of him kind of hinders the mobility. And then, to reveal the next biolasers in the arms, you can open up these sections here to reveal those biolasers in his arms. Very nice, well-hidden biolasers there on the forearms. You got 3 biolasers that are that same translucent ruby red color. Very nicely done. Again, so moving down for articulation. The back, of course, armor pieces for the wings. can fold in and out, and then you can also twist them from side to side as well. You can get very nice range of movement. His chest has really no articulation. He has no waist joint to speak of, at least, yeah. Well, yeah, no, just because there's really no way to move his waist or anything like that. So he has no waist joint or ab crunch or anything like that. But you move those two up, and then you take his folded up wings here off. There's a button back here that you can push, and that reveals his next biolaser, which is actually called the Blaster Tempest, I believe. And I remember in Diego Doom's review of this guy, he wasn't sure if ZX-Tole ever used the Blaster Tempest in his form you see here, because there's this ZX-Tole and then there's Neo ZX-Tole. But ZX-Tole did use his Blaster Tempest in this form when he was fighting Aptom in the underground base. So he did use the Blaster Tempest there. It was like a last-ditch effort against Aptom, and that's when he pretty much thinks that he killed Aptom. But a very nice button there to open up the Blaster Tempest biolaser, and then you just push the button the other way to seal it all back up like so. So I love that bit of articulation, though. That is just awesome, the way they made that mechanism work. Just very nicely done. And just put the wings back on. Now, when I have ZX-Tole displayed on my shelves, I have him with all his biolasers exposed, like he's just going all-out attack on whoever he's fighting. Next, we'll move on down to the legs. His legs here at the hip can move very nicely front and back, as well as outwards very nicely. His knee joints can move very nicely, still just a little bit hindered because of the bulkiness of his body, but you can get very nice knee movement. And then his feet, you can get a little bit of movement out of them, kind of, pivot them downwards or pivot them as far as you can upwards. They can kind of pivot side to side, but not very much. Again, the bulkiness of his body does hinder articulation on him a bit, but he's still an awesome figure nonetheless. And that's about it for articulation and everything. Next, we'll move on to accessories. Accessories, he doesn't come with too much. He comes with the basic black stand that all the Biofighter figures come with. He comes with a pair of kind of open grappling hands, which are very nice to have. Those are very nicely detailed and sculpted, just like the figure himself. Fingers all nicely sculpted and curved, and just very, very nice detail. His wings, beautifully well done. These wings look just very insect-like, and they just look so accurate. They are, they're scary accurate to an actual insect. Like they almost look like, like a cicada's shedded shell. You know how you can find cicada skins and everything like that. That's what these wings almost look like, except they're off of a bigger insect. But very nice, translucent, pretty much clear almost, see-through. The color on them is pretty much, just a honey color. And but very nicely done. You can attach these wings on the back of ZX-Tole. And I'm not going to do that just because I don't want this review to drag out too long. But if you want to see swapping of the parts and his wings and his hands and everything like that, definitely check out Diego Doom's review of this guy. He covers all that stuff in a lot more detail for you. And the last thing I will go over is sizing, and I'm just going to size him up with what I size all my Biofighter figures with, is just with the Guyver 1. Very nice sizing here. Scaling, very good. ZX-Tole is big, bulky, he's a lot taller. His horns give him quite the height advantage over Guyver 1. Perfect scaling, though, with the Guyver 1. No problems whatsoever. And that about does it, you guys, for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We are Godzilla Fan Freaks. That's another thing about ZX-Tole I will cover here. Before I sum up this video, it is kind of tricky to get him to stand, at least mine is, because of his bulkiness and whatnot. The black stand that he comes with definitely helps with posing him, but if I can just get mine set right with his legs and everything like that, he stands perfectly. So, alright you guys, now we'll sum up this figure review. Hope you guys enjoyed. We are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Like always, please comment, like, and subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next video review. Thank you for watching.